Hello, YouTube. Today I'm gonna be doing another movie talk, but I'm gonna be talking about something that has, I'm gonna be talking about something that is coming up, or that has come up a lot in the past now, and it's been going around now. I want to say for like the past couple years. Um, and it looks like it's finally going to get released, um, and that is David Ayer's original version of his Suicide Squad movie. Um, a lot of people or some people out there think that a lot of I think a lot of people um are under the assumption that whenever a movie hits theaters, that's what the director envisioned, and that's what gets, and that's what gets put out. That is not true at all. Um, David Ayer's original intention for Suicide Squad is a perfect example of that. David Ayer's original cut for Suicide Squad was 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay. Warner Brothers removed the first 40 minutes as well as the final act. And so his original version, David Ayer, when he first, David Ayer, when he, um, when he decided to do this movie, he literally went full in. He literally went full into. He literally went into like full research mode. Um, because as far as I know, David Ayer is not a comic book guy. So he did some very 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 heavy research into like the characters and um and into like the characters, but specifically the very very abusive and toxic relationship of the Joker and Harley Quinn. um and I know a lot of people hated Jared Leto as the Joker, in Suicide Squad, myself included. I thought his um I thought I think he was I think he's definitely the worst Joker that um I think he's definitely the worst Joker that we've ever had. But however, it wasn't completely his fault. um Warner Brothers cut out, and there was actually a, I remember seeing a statement about this after the movie came out. Jared Leto was really, really, really pissed off at how much of his screen time, um, Warner Brothers cut out of the movie and just how much was changed. Um, like if you watch, this is pretty much in terms of like how much of a difference, um, in terms of how much of a difference, um, you know, uh, in terms of like how much of a difference we're talking between what came to theaters and what, in the movie that David Ayer made, like the difference between the two. We're talking like Snyder cut levels of, we're we're talking like Snyder cut levels of difference. There was a lot, um, a lot was cut out, a lot was changed. Um, the movie was originally, it was much, much darker. The movie that David Ayer made, was much, much darker than what we ended up getting. Um, Jared Leto's Joker was actually, And David Ayer himself said this. He said, Jared Leto's performance in the as the Joker in my, in the movie that I made, was incredible. Like, he was literally terrifying. He got like full into, full into, into the character, and he was actually literally, like intimidating. Um, he wasn't someone that you just, he wasn't someone that was, he wasn't what we saw in, in the version that we ended up getting. Yeah, so it looks like that this movie is finally going to get released. David Ayer himself, I know, has obviously been very heavily campaigning for its release. Snyder fans have been heavily campaigning for its release. Because this movie, even though the movie, even though the movie wasn't directed obviously by Zack Snyder, it is still part of the Snyderverse, because you had, for example, one of the things that was cut out, we were originally going to have much more screen time with Ben Affleck's Batman. We were going to have an actual fight with him against Killer Croc. We were going to have, the abusive relationship between, Harley Quinn and the Joker. We were going to have a much more, comic accurate, interpretation of that. We were going to have, there was just so much that was cut out. There was so much that was cut out, so much that was changed. And, in this movie, but the reason why I'm making this video is because, David Ayer shared recently on his social media of himself. He shared a picture of himself working on, working on a movie, working on a project that was technically already finished. And David Ayer himself, has said that he's back at Warner Brothers. He has been in talks with Warner Brothers now for at least a couple years now. I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 years now. He's been talking with them, trying to get his cut released. I know that Zack Snyder obviously, supports, supports the idea, of the movie's release. Jared Leto supports the idea of the movie being released. There was so much that was cut out. There was so much that was cut out, and I'm not just talking about. And I'm not just talking about stuff for stuff for fans like myself. I'm talking about stuff like, like character development and stuff like, like character development and, fleshing out of, proper fleshing out of like the story and the characters and, just, so much that was cut out. If anyone here has read the novelization for David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie written by Marv Wolfman, that is more that the novelization of the movie is more in line with the movie that David Ayer originally envisioned. We actually have and given and Warner Brothers, I know I've talked a bit about this in my I know I've talked about this in my talks for for James Gunn's upcoming Superman film, but but anybody who is anybody who is new here, I'm just I'm going to put this out there. Warner Brothers is in very 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 deep shit right now. Their stocks are continuing to plummet. um they are in seriously deep trouble right now. Every Warner Brothers, and I know I've talked about this, in some of my other videos, but they could very well be filing for bankruptcy over the next couple to few years. I'm not saying I'm obviously not saying, I'm obviously not saying yes, that's definitely going to happen, but I'm saying it's a very, very, it's a very, very strong possibility. And given how much, and given how much money and given how much money, Warner Brothers spent on Joker 2 Folly of Duox, um, which is looking like, which right now is looking like it's destined to fail at the box office. Um, from what I've seen, it looks like that they definitely did themselves no favors by doing that, because remember, they're in deep trouble right now. And remember, the first the first Joker movie, one of the reasons why it was so good is because it had a very, very low budget. It had a very, very low budget, and the low budget obviously ended up working in its favor, because it made because it made obviously a shit ton of money. But yeah, with this one, with the sequel, they basically spent like twice that amount. So they basically spent money that they don't even have. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. Um, Suicide Squad. Yeah, so it looks like that this movie is finally going to get released. Um, like I said, this movie has a massive um this movie has a massive fan base, campaigning for its release. As I said before, obviously, Snyder fans support it. Zack Snyder himself supports it. Um, and given the amount of trouble, that Warner Brothers is in right now, releasing this movie would definitely be a step in the right direction for them. It would, it most probably wouldn't make up for all the money that they've been losing, but it would definitely pull, it would definitely make, a lot of fans happy. Um, and, um, I'm going to pull up, I'm going to pull up, um, I'm going to pull up, yeah, so a lot, so there's a lot, there's a lot riding on this. Um, the movie for the most part is done. It's finished. There's no, like reshoots that need to be done or anything like that. All it needs is just a couple, all it needs is just a few, like finishing touches, and then that's it. The movie, and then that's it. The movie for the most part is done. Um, I am in the middle of trying to find. Um, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna leave a in the description. I'm going to leave a I'm gonna leave a video in the description that you guys can watch. Um, that you guys can watch at your own time. It's by Aaron Fisher, who covers a lot of the DC. Um, who's been covering a lot of the DC slash Warner Brothers, stuff lately, and he is a very, very reliable, um, he is a very, very reliable source. Um, I obviously want to see this movie released. I was a big, I was a big supporter of the Snyder Cut getting released back when it came out. I know a lot of people, um, I know a lot of people thought, that the Snyder Cut didn't exist, for a long time, obviously it did because it finally got released. Um, and this, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, is because I want people out there to know, um, I want people out there to know that, that David Ayer's original version, of Suicide Squad, it does exist and it is out there. It's not released, obviously. It's not, it's not available yet. It hasn't been released. That's why, that's obviously why I'm making this video, but it does exist. And from the looks of it, from everything that I've been seeing, from everything that I've been hearing, it does look like that it's finally going to get released. I don't, obviously, there's no set release date. I would, my hope is that it comes out at some point. My hope is that, we get, an announcement maybe this year, if not next year. But I know that David Ayer himself at one point, beginning of this year, actually thought that his cut wasn't going to get released, um, due to, just, all the stuff going around, and, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, judging by, in fact, something else I'm going to bring up. Um, Ayer, I want to say, like last year, he was dropping very, very cryptic hints about, about the possibility of the movie being released, much like what Zack Snyder did before the release of, of the Snyder Cut. He was dropping, like all sorts of cryptic, like tweets and pictures, and, and stuff like that, on his social media. And it obviously ended up, and the whole thing obviously leading, and then, and then everything obviously ended up leading to, the Snyder Cut's release. So, so yeah, so yes, I do believe that, um, I do believe that this movie is going to get released. Because again, Warner Brothers is in really, really desperate need of money right now. They're, the amount of trouble that they're in, financially, and with, and again, with Joker 2, set to bomb at the box office. From what I've been seeing and hearing, it's definitely not looking good for them. So yeah, so let me know, what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And like I said, I will be leaving a link, in the description, of this video, of all the things that I've been seeing slash hearing um about the about the movie's release. So please, so please be sure to watch that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know, um let me know what your thoughts are on Ayer's original cut for Suicide Squad, and whether or not you want to see it. Like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.